Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and today in this video we'll be talking about the pathology of the localized corneal ulcer. For an ulcer to occur, we know that there should be a breakage or damage to its protective covering of the particular tissue. And here, for the corneal ulcer to occur, the first step is the damage to the corneal epithelium. And this damage to the corneal epithelium, it occurs in various ways, like it can occur in the form of corneal abrasions, which occurs due to misdirected cilia or due to foreign bodies that are entering the eyes or due to the trivial trauma occurring in the contact lens users. And the corneal epithelium can also get damaged due to the deficiency of the vitamin A, as in keratomalacia, or due to the disformation of cornea, as in bullous keratopathy, or the corneal epithelium can also get damaged when it is dry, as in exposure keratitis or xerosis, or it can also gets damaged in neuroparalytic diseases of the cornea. And once the corneal epithelium is damaged, there are high chances for it to get invaded by the various organisms. And here in this video we'll be mostly talking about the bacteria. The bacteria which can invade the damaged corneal epithelium are most common are the Staphylococcus. The Staphylococcus is the most common organism which is responsible for the corneal ulcer to occur, whereas in contact lens user the most common organism is the Pseudomonas. The other organisms are the Streptococcus. Then there can also be Moraxilla or gonorrhea, Neisseria gonorrhea, Neisseria meningitis. There are many, but there are some bacteria which do not need a damaged corneal epithelium for its invasion. They can directly invade the intact corneal epithelium. And these bacteria are the Haemophilus aegyptus, Neisseria gonorrhea, Neisseria meningitis, Corynebacterium diphtheria, and the Listeria. Now, once there is invasion of the eroded area by the organisms, then it progresses into the 4 stages. The 4 stages are the stage of progressive infiltration, stage of active ulceration, and stage of regression, and the stage of cicatrization. Now let's talk about the stage of progressive infiltration. In the stage of progressive infiltration, it occurs when the lymphocytes and the neutrophils, they migrate into the eroded area involved. And these lymphocytes and neutrophils, they reach the eroded area either through the surrounding blood vessels or through the stroma, if the stroma is also involved. And then there occurs the necrosis of the involved area. Then it progresses to the stage of active ulceration. In the stage of active ulceration, we can see that there will be necrosis, clogging of epithelium, Bowman's layer, and the involved stroma, which results in ulcer formation. There is also hyperemia of the circumcorneal vessels, which results in accumulation of the purulent exudates in the cornea. And there is also vascular congestion of the iris, ciliary body, and there is some amount of iritis which occurs due to the absorptions of the toxins, and it results in formation of an exudates which accumulate in the anterior chamber, known as hypopyon. And in this stage of active ulceration, we can see that the ulcer can either expand further or it can heal. And the factors which are responsible to determine whether the ulcer will heal or it will expand depends upon the host immune response and the treatment received and the virulency of the organisms. And the expansion of the ulcer can occur by either lateral extension or by deeper extension. And the ulcer, if it extends laterally, it results in diffuse superficial corneal ulcer. But if the ulcer moves deeper, that is penetration, then it results in corneal perforation. But if the person receives the treatment and the host immune response is also good, then the ulcer, it goes into the stage of regression. Here, the lymphocytes, they form a line of demarcation. And this line of demarcation, it surrounds the ulcer, and the lymphocytes present, they engulf or phagocytose the remaining bacteria and the necrotic debris, and they helps to initiate healing. And the healing usually occurs by epithelialization. After this, we'll be talking about the stage of cicatrization. In the stage of cicatrization, it varies from one ulcer to ulcer, depending upon the depth of the layer of the cornea which is involved. If the cornea is involved only till the epithelium, then it heals by epithelialization. There is no scar formation and there is no opacities left behind. But if the ulcerate extends deeper, that into the Bowman's layer or into the stroma, then it heals by scar formation, and the scar tissue that is formed is known as nebula. And this scar tissue is formed by corneal fibroblast and endothelial cells of the new blood vessels. And we can see that if only less than 1/3 of the stroma is involved, it is known as macula. But if more than 1/3 of the stroma is involved, then it is known as leukoma. This was about the pathology of the corneal ulcer. I hope you guys understood. If you have any kind of suggestions for my videos, then please comment below. Thank you.